In this video, I'd like to give you a brief introduction to our website. We are using a Moodle website to deliver this course content, so hopefully I'll give you a short little rundown here of where you can go and what we have available to you as far as taking this course. Everything that you need should be posted on this website to complete the class. Every day, well, I shouldn't say every day, but every day that I need to, I will post news and announcements that relate to that day. Mostly it'll be weekly, but I will tell you right now, you should check this every day. I do expect that you're visiting the website on a daily basis, and so check here every day. There could be something that changes real quickly on a daily basis that you need to know about, so just check in here every day. Doesn't mean there's going to be a post there every day, but if something important comes up, if there's a problem, if we're changing a due date on something, you'll see it there in the news and announcements. Okay. I have a general discussion and questions forum here. Basically, the idea here is for you to click in there and post any generic kind of questions you have about the course. If you can't find something, if you don't understand what I posted for an assignment exactly, you can certainly post a question there. And the idea is that not only would I respond to things in there, but I'm not going to be in there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I'll be in there every day on a daily basis, but sometimes you're working on something. It's something simple that you just can't get figured out, and so this would be a place that you can post things and a classmate could respond and give you some help with it. Okay? This forum is not for getting help about how to complete an assignment. So in other words, I can't figure out how to program the code for this program. You don't post that there for classmates to help you with. That's where if you're really stumped, you would go to the one-on-one support forum, and the one-on-one support forum is a place where you can post questions, and I'm the only one that sees your question, and you're the only one that sees my response to your question. So if you have a question that you just don't want the whole class to see, post it there. It is set up so that I only see your posts and you only see my response to you. Or if you are asking about a particular assignment that you're struggling with, that would be the place to post it. Okay. I have a helpful links and resources page where that I'll be adding things to as we go along in the class. I'll talk more about that later. We have our Grand Forks Area Center, Technical Center, grading scale. I don't know what grading scale your school might use, but this is going to be the grading scale for this class. So it might be different than what you have. It's probably an easier grading scale than your school, but I think you'll find that it's still fair and challenging because I do think it is more challenging to take a class online. So just be aware of that grading scale there to know where you're at. Let's talk about grades just a little bit since we talked about grading scale. Your official grades will be posted in PowerSchool. Okay, so there's also a grade book in Moodle. Now you'll want to be familiar with both because, like I said, your official grade will be in PowerSchool, and grades will be updated at least on a weekly basis. But in the grades area here in Moodle, there is also a grade book, okay? And this is where I will post feedback on your assignments, okay? So you'll want to check out the grades area in Moodle as well because that's where you can see, in your introduction post, it was worth 20 points. There'll be written feedback here from me on, why did you get a 20? Why did you get a 15? Or whatever. So that's where you'll get feedback for it. So PowerSchool doesn't really provide a place for that. It's just where your grade is. But also don't worry about the grade that shows up here because sometimes it might be off based on something else. This Moodle doesn't really let me put in extra credit or something like that, and there might be opportunities for that at some point, so I would put those into PowerSchool and they wouldn't show here, but the feedback's important. Now, one thing that you'll note here right away is Don't pay attention to some of these quiz things right now because they might change. We might not have a quiz on week 3. Depends on how things go and where we're at. This is just stuff from a previous course right now. But you will have a journal entry every week. And this first week, you're doing some introductory posts and stuff like that. So you'll notice journal entries. You'll be journaling about the assignments that you're doing on a weekly basis. And you know those are all worth 20 points. One thing about the journal entries is, if you do a good job doing your best on trying to journal each week, it's not hard to get those 20 points. I will tell you, programming can be a challenging concept for some people. So, and I have had students that kind of struggle with the programming, but got a decent grade in the class because they kept up with their journal entries every week and turned in the programming to the best of their ability. It wasn't great because the programming was hard for them, but their journal entries kind of boosted their grade and put them over the top there. Okay, so that's just a little bit about that. Now, how do I grade those journal entries? Right here, you'll find there's a forum writing rubric. You should also be familiar with this. Whenever you're posting in the forums in this class, now, the exceptions would be if you're posting to like just one-on-one support where you're trying to get help, or you're just posting a general discussion question. I'm not grading your writing in those forums. But whenever we have a journal entry for the week, you post them in a forum. It's a forum that I only see your post. But then I will be grading based on this rubric right here: sentences and paragraphs, grammar and spelling, length, ideas, capitalization, and punctuation. So it's important you realize, yeah, this is a website, but it's not like posting to Facebook or Twitter or us IMing each other. I do expect you to use formal writing when you're posting in this class. Now, here again, when you're posting just to get help in the one-on-one support or those things, that's different. You'll still want to write in a way that is coherent and makes sense, but you're not being great on that writing. Everything else, your weekly journal entries, your introductions for this week that you're going to post, those you are being graded on. So be familiar with this writing rubric so that you get off to a good start on those written entries. Now, one thing I'll say about length is, typically I'm asking you to write about a paragraph or so. That's not a lot, okay? But at the same time, I'm not saying a certain number of sentences, right? Because if I do, then people tend to just write the minimum number of sentences. Write what you need to communicate to me, but it should be about a paragraph in length. If you want an absolute minimum, I don't see how you could write a paragraph that's really less than 5 sentences. But at the same time, a person could write 5 sentences and still get docked for length if it's just, these 5 little choppy short sentences that really don't tell the whole story. That's not going to get you full credit for length and ideas either. So just, do your best to communicate what the assignment is asking you to. Follow the best you can here for sentencing, paragraphing, grammar and spelling, length, ideas, capitalization, and punctuation, and you should do fine. One thing I will say about paragraphing. When you write paragraphs, yes, you should indent. The Moodle forums aren't very user-friendly, though, when it comes to indenting. Like if you hit the tab key, it takes you out of the field for your writing. So I'm not going to really dock you for indenting paragraphs, that kind of thing. You might want to put an extra space. If you have more than one paragraph, maybe put an extra space between them so it's easy to see your paragraphing. But as far as indenting, I'm not going to be picky about that because writing on the website isn't very user-friendly in that way. It is different writing online on a computer screen than on paper sometimes. So pay attention. Use the spell check that's built in. I mean, there's no reason you should get dock points for spelling because there's a spell checker built in to our forum posters. Okay? Most of your grades in the class, though, are going to revolve around building Windows programs. Okay? So the program rubric here, I have another rubric that you should be aware of, and I'm not going to talk about this in great detail today. We'll do it more later when we start turning in assignments, but there's a rubric that I'm going to use to grade your programs when you upload and turn those in as well, so you should be aware of that. Okay? So in this first week, it's mostly about getting to know each other. I posted a video that you should watch to get to know me a little bit. I want to get to know you a little bit as well. So you're in the introductions forum. You should write an entry introducing yourself to the rest of the class. What I also want you to do is reply to posts from 2 different classmates that don't go to the same physical school that you do, and write some comments to them, maybe ask them a question, and then you'll have 2 people writing in response to your introduction from somewhere else, and then once they do that, you should respond to them. All right? Now, if we go back to the grades thing here, you'll see that your introduction post is worth 20 points, and so that's something that I'm going to use the rubric to grade. You got another entry here that says intro forum question and reply post. So you're replying to somebody's intro post with some comments and questions, 2 of them, and then you're replying to the people that posted some questions to you, and that's 15 points. So it's more or less 5 points each, 5 for posting some comments and questions to 2 people that don't go to the same school as you, and 5 points for just posting back to people that asked maybe you question stuff. It's just for a little interaction there. Now I'm not grading these reply posts on the rubric, but still do your best to write in complete sentences and that kind of thing. All right, so that's kind of one of the things I'm looking at you get done here in our first week. Now you'll notice the week says August 28th to September 3 September. We actually are starting on August 26th, the Monday, right? I'm giving you basically a week and a half there. These things should be complete by Wednesday, September 3rd. In this course, the class is going to run from Wednesday to Wednesday. So due dates will be on Wednesday, and I will post new content to the course on Wednesday instead of, I did a Monday to Friday thing before, and it seemed like everybody was always struggling with weekend stuff. They were asking me questions on the weekend, trying to get things in by Monday. I was trying to respond. So maybe with a more Wednesday to Wednesday thing, it doesn't mean you won't sometimes have to be working on a weekend, but maybe we'll avoid that a little bit more with the Wednesday to Wednesday thing. So you kind of have a week and a half here at the beginning to kind of get things taken care of as far as introductions forum. There's a course survey that I want you to take and do these postings, and just kind of navigate the website. All right, so you got a week and a half to kind of do that. Another reason you're getting a week and a half though too is in this class we're going to be using Visual Studio 2010 Express. It is a free download. You need to make sure you get that downloaded and installed somewhere where you can use it, because the day is going to rapidly be approaching after a week and a half here that we're going to be using the program to actually write programs. So it's your job to make sure, get with the tech person at your school if you need to, get it installed on a computer that you can use at school, get it installed on a computer at home if you have a computer that's adequate to run it, and get that up and running for yourself. Okay? In the helpful links and resources, I have put a link there right to the download for it. Make sure you get the 2010 version. There is a 2012 version, but that relates more to some Windows 8 types of stuff, and so the 2010 one with the Windows 7 primarily is more kind of backward compatible for maybe some other computers you might be utilizing. So we're going to make sure we're using the 2010 version instead of the 2012 version. Okay. One other thing I'd like you to do when you log into the class, and I will update this list to show that it doesn't say it right now. I want you to go into your profile. So over here on the left, My Profile. Click on View Profile, and then Edit Profile. Make sure all this information is correct. Make sure you have a correct email address in there that you will check and that you can utilize. Go ahead and, if you would, upload a picture. It doesn't even have to be really a picture of you. If you don't want a picture of your face in here, it doesn't have to be. Just a picture that you feel represents you would be good. A picture of you would be great, but it could be something that just represents you. Make sure it's appropriate. But I think the website kind of looks kind of, taking an online course can be kind of isolating the way it is, and it can be kind of stale as far as people interaction. So just even having pictures that represent people helps me a little bit, makes the course a little more enjoyable. So I would like you to update your profile. You might want, if this forum auto-subscribe is set to Yes, you'll get emails for any forums that are posted to that you posted to. I'll leave that up to you whether you do that. You should have form tracking set to yes so that new posts get highlighted for you so that when you're on the main page, if there's a new post to a forum, you'll see a little gray link off to the side that lets you know there's a post in there that you haven't read. Okay, so that's a brief introduction to our Moodle site and some of the things that you need to get done here in the first week and a half. If you have questions about any of those things, let me know. Typically, videos in this class will be a little bit shorter than this one, and they won't be Hollywood quality. I know I'm not going to be a YouTube video sensation anytime soon, but I think some video content kind of helps to keep us communicating and interacting. Have a good first week. If you have questions, send me a forum post or a message. Thanks.